Well, it's okay now. And let me share the screen. Okay, this one. Okay, as I remember, last session we discussed the ways to improve our career. And I don't know if you remember the list or no, but I think it's better to actually review it again in order to talk about them, because as I remember, we didn't discuss and we didn't talk about the ways, we only read. Of course, so let's read this part again. Okay, and then of course we will talk about them, and of course we will do some actually exercises related to this article. Okay, ready?
Okay. Okay, read
Well,
this
10
one.
ways to improve your career. I don't know if you remember or no, but it's better to read it again because we're going to do part C. Decide which tip each of the following sentences could be added to. There are some sentences here, like, 10 sentences, 10 paragraphs. And actually, we're going to add some tips to these sentences. For example, the first one. These are also a great way to network with influential people. And tip number 4, okay, let's check number 4. Always look for opportunities to broaden your skills. For example, you can attend professional development seminars. Okay, so actually you can use some influencer, influential people in order to actually communicate and get some experiences. So this can actually be matched to number 4. Now we need to read this part again. So if you're ready, you can get started.
Uh, yeah. So first, I need to breathe on.
Of course, because I think you forgot. Of course, it's normal to forget. So it's better to review it again so that match these tips to the paragraphs.
Okay. But just read the part C and try to find the tip at
Okay,
part
so
B.
part C. Why part C? Only part C.
No. I just ask
Okay,
again about the
of course.
uh, I know, like uh, should I read on tip on part B before I try to reply
So
part C?
I think you need to read. Okay, you need to skim part B. Yeah, I think skimming is good, but yeah.
Read on in part B before try to answer the part C, right?
Of course, of course.
Okay. Because I remember last time I read it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, you read, as I told you, you read this part, but now we need to match part C and part B, and I think you can't remember. So because of this, I say review it again to actually match, and if you don't remember, you can't do part C.
Okay. Uh, yeah, maybe because I not to I don't focus when you are saying. So, but C B
B.
each day take a small step that bring you closer to that target. Um, so I think is one.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so I think, you got confused. So we are doing part B Page 8. Page 8, and
Yeah.
after that, part C. So you need to read this text again, 10 ways to improve your career. Okay, so there are some tips that we need to review again. Then actually we're gonna do part C and we're gonna match these sentences to the tips. Okay, get it?
Okay.
Yeah, of course, this one, because actually I remember that we did up to part, page 9, as I remember, and we read part B. Now let's review it again. Do you want me to read if it's difficult? This
I know.
one.
I can read.
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Iceland Finance, a leading staffing and recruiting service firm, offers the following tips for getting ahead in your career. The first one, make a list of your priorities and outline your tasks for the day. Write down your short and long-term goals. Evaluate your progress frequently and stay focused. The second, are you really present? You may physically be at work, but are you there mentally? Mm. Three, the third, learn how to work through others. Delegating tasks is an important skill to master at any level. Fourth, always look for opportunities to broaden your skills. For example, you can attend professional development seminars. The fifth, socialize with colleagues. This will help you learn about what's happening in other departments. The sixth, create your own goals. Determine where you want to be professionally and what skills you need to reach that goal. The seventh, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Accept challenges that force you to try something new. Eighth, be clear about what you want. If you believe you deserve a promotion, ask for one. Take time off and relax. Attending to your personal life and doing things that make you happy will help your performance at work. Seek, seek satisfaction. If you are disappointed by your current career, look for ways to transform yourself into more of what you want. If this does not solve the problem, maybe it's time to look for a new position. If you follow this advice, you will significantly increase your opportunities to earn more money, get promoted sooner, and move ahead faster, says Mr. Leibovitz, President and Chief Operating Officer of Iceland Finance.
Okay, great, very good. Just we have the word here. This is determine, not determine. This is determine in part C, 6, okay, line 2. Determine where you want to be professionally. And let me check something else. Okay, so delegate, part 3. Delegate means actually giving a part of your work or your something like responsibility to all the people that are in lower position than you. For example, your colleague that is in lower position than you can give a part of your work to your colleague, okay, that is in lower position than you. This means delegate, okay?
Yes, I know.
And the word seek, as you know, means look for. And just this, there is no other word that is. And outline, outline means summary or summarize.
Summarize. Okay.
Summarize, of course. Yeah. Okay. Well, now let's decide which tip in part C of the following sentences could be added to. So, part B, each day take a smaller step that brings you closer to that target. 5 or 6 or 7. So 5 or 6 or 7. Which one?
Um. Uh. 6.
That's great. Good job. And C.
If your boss refuses, ask him or her what you need to achieve in order to qualify for one. Qualify for one.
Okay, 6 or 7 or 8.
So I think 8.
Yeah, very good. And D.
It will also establish you as a team player within the company.
I know.
I think is uh, um, uh, I think it's 5.
Very good. Good job. E.
Pay attention to every single task. What you do, I think is the first one.
First, okay, let's check again. Pay attention to everything, every single task that you do. So between 1, 2, and 3, let's check again. 1 is actually make a list of your priorities, something that you need to do, or actually summarize your task, okay? But about that, focus on something. Are you really present? You may physically be at work, but are you there mentally? So it means pay attention. So if you are paying attention, if you are paying attention or no, it means,
Yeah, I know the meaning mentally. It mean like we do, but we think about another things, right?
of course, it means you don't pay attention, of course.
Oh, but because yeah, I agree with you. But because in sentence, I see the every single task. Okay, maybe it's a
Actually, 1 can indicate, organization. Make a list of your priorities and outline your task. It means be organized. So, but pay attention. 2 is closer, I think it's better. And F.
Oh, okay. F. You may discover a secret talent or hidden passion. Uh, I think
2, no. 7 or because we chose to, so 7 or 8.
7.
Yeah, that's great. Definitely, yes. And just this is a hidden passion, hidden. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you something about past participle of verbs. Some words like write, like hide, like, for example, actually, give. Okay, I'm not give because it's a little different. For example, actually the words like write and hide, okay, that ends in D, And before consonant, actually, they consist I. When actually it comes to past participle, you need to pronounce IE. So write, written, hide, hidden, drive, drive, driven,
Right.
drive, driven. Okay,
Right.
driven,
Oh.
driven, of course. So yeah, of course, give, gave, given, but give a little, give is a little different. So because this is give, so I'm talking about I, letter I. Okay, when we have some verbs include letter I and they end in e. When we make past participle, we need to actually pronounce and read past participle e, not I. So driven, written, and hidden. Okay,
Okay.
good. Well, now let's keep going. We have some verbs here again, and there are some noun phrases. So let's make combination. For example, this is collocation. For example, reach a goal, get ahead,
Get has a promotion.
and get ahead. Okay, you say get ahead a promotion. Do you have any other alternative except promotion?
A goal.
Uh,
I get ahead. Is
Get ahead means actually be more successful than the others. It
yeah.
means you do something to be better and more successful than your, for example, partner, your colleague. So to
On
get
progress.
ahead,
Progress. Progress.
no, no. To get ahead in one's career. Get ahead in one's career. It means to be better than the other person. Okay? So to get ahead in one's career.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Because
means to be better, more
uh,
successful. Of
yeah.
course. Of
I
course.
know career, but I don't know phrase in one's career. I don't know it before.
Because when you say get ahead, of course, promotion and get ahead are, somehow like each other. You say, okay, so why do we use them together? So they're, actually, somehow they like each other. To get ahead, be successful, promote, actually be better. So we can't make a good combination with actually get ahead and promotion. But when you say to get ahead in one's career, it means to be more successful or better than the other person.
Okay. Okay.
Good. To evaluate.
Evaluate is skill.
Actually, we assess people's progress, how they actually make progress. So we need to evaluate, we need to assess. Okay, so I think one's progress is better. To evaluate one's progress. For
Progress.
example, I evaluate, I assess your progress. Okay.
Uh, yeah, yes, maybe I just know separate the word.
Mm-hmm. For example, let me say something. Actually, there are some collocations, and of course, you haven't heard them before because actually it's a little weird maybe to guess
Hmm.
which one is correct. But now you know them. So why we say to evaluate a skill, of course, we don't judge people's skills. We judge, we evaluate, we assess people's progress. If someone made a progress, we can judge it, we can actually evaluate, we can assess it. Okay,
Hmm.
so E is better. To deserve,
A goal.
to deserve,
A goal to
no,
deserve. Oh,
No, you
oh,
deserve you deserve to be in a high position, in a better position. So you deserve a,
promotion.
of course, promotion.
Hmm.
And last one, to master
A skill.
skill, of course, to master a skill. Very
Wow.
good. Well, so you need to actually memorize these collocations because they're useful. And now we have a listening section. Two people discussing 10 ways to improve your career. We're going to complete the table below with the number of 3 tips they consider the most helpful. So which number they mention. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So let me play the audio.
Unit 1. Careers. Recording 1.1.
Lots of helpful advice here. Debbie, what do you think?
Just a sec. Right. Well, I'd say the most useful tip from this list was the one about creating your own goals. I've always believed that if you don't know where you want to go, well, you'll never get anywhere.
You'll be stuck.
Exactly. Stuck in the same old job for the rest of your life. Right. Next, be comfortable with being Oh, sorry, no. That's my third point, actually. What I've chosen is make a list of your priorities.
And outline your tasks for the day.
Yep, that's the one. It's logical, isn't it? First, you need to set your objectives, and once you've done that, you need to prioritize them. And if you want to move ahead in your career, you also need to evaluate your progress regularly. As it says here, if you do that, you get a better idea of what you're good at and also of the areas that you need to work on.
It's all connected with feedback, isn't it? And what's your last point then?
Well, as I said a minute ago, be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I wasn't too sure how to interpret that one.
Well, my understanding of this is that when a challenge presents itself, you have to take it on. I mean, if you play it safe all the time, if you just settle into a routine, you'll never move ahead in your career.
That reminds me of a quote I read recently.
Yeah?
It said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll only get what you've already got.
I really like that. It's so true, isn't it? You can't make progress if you don't take risks. Sometimes. Now, Nick, your turn. Which of these 10 tips do you think are the most useful?
Hard to believe, but my first one is the same as yours.
Really? That's so interesting. A meeting of minds.
For me, this was the easiest to decide on. I believe that once you've established your own goals, in many ways all the rest follows. Anyway, the second piece of advice I chose is always look for opportunities to broaden your skills. Some companies, like mine for instance, look after their employees' professional development really well, but others don't. And in that case, it's your personal responsibility to look for suitable opportunities. And finally, my third point was, are you really present? Because I believe it's crucial to be 100% focused on whatever task you're engaged in. But now, after talking with you, I think I'd like to change it. I like what you said about being uncomfortable. We really have to try something new. If we don't, we'll never grow professionally or even personally.
So, if we compare our final ranking, our number 1 and number 3 are the same. We just differ on the second point.
That's right, yes. I quite enjoyed discussing this article with you. You have very many interesting...
Well, could you?
Yes.
Great. Wow, great. Okay. Tip number,
For Debbie,
Debbie.
I heard that she mentioned about the six, the first and the seven. I mean,
Wow, of course. Six and first and seven, that's great. So just mention about, no, just mention. Mention six and one and seven. Okay, we don't use preposition about for mention. And for Nick?
for Nick, at the beginning he mentioned about six, four, and two, but after that he changed his mind. He changed the, the last one from two to seven.
Wow.
Uh, so they have two things similar.
Of
Seven.
course. They have some points in common. They have some points in common, 2 points in common. That's great. Good job. You did it great. That's really good. Okay, what do you think is the relation between Debbie and Nick?
Relation, colleagues. Huh?
You think actually colleague, and why? Why do you think they're colleagues?
Because they talk about the job, the work.
Yeah, of course. They're talking about the works. So first thing that we heard, it was a formal conversation. So of course they can't actually be friends. Of course they know each other, okay? And so I think they were talking about two different companies, you know? You know, because Nick said some companies like mine. So if they're working together, why he said like mine? So I think,
said that.
yeah, of course.
As a sentence about some company as mine.
Of course, like mine. So when he said like mine, it means, of course, his company is different from Debbie's. Wow. And okay, in your opinion, where are they from and how old are they?
Where from?
Yeah, from accent. Could you get from accent?
Accent.
Big.
I just guess because I don't focus about the
Of course.
but I think they from England.
No, I don't think. I don't think so. I think, Nick was from something, was European. I think so. I'm not sure, but I know, of course, they were not American and British. I'm sure because, the accent was different. But I think, something like European accent. But, of course, but I'm not sure. Well,
How to realize? I mean European because
yeah, you need to hear. You need to hear. So when you live in the US, of course, especially when you have some friends, some European friends, of course, you can realize, their accent. So you can recognize and realize their accent. So I think, of course, when they're not from the US and the UK, so we have European accent, and I think, of course, it was like, one of my friend's accents, so I think it was European.
yeah, I will try to think about it up.
So you need to listen. For example, when you have time, if you want to actually get familiar with some different accents, you can actually surf the internet, especially YouTube. Search just for example, Irish accent, American accent, or European accent. So there are some videos that you can use to get familiar with the different accents, and that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting things.
Of course,
So,
of course, of course. It's really fun, you know. It's really funny, you know.
yeah.
Something like you can hear, especially when you know English, and actually when English is your actually mother tongue. That is really interesting because you can actually hear different accents. Because you know we have a really big challenge with UK.
Yeah.
Because actually
Yeah.
they say, yeah, they say that okay, our accent. I had a friend. I remember, I used to have a friend, a British, and we had a big challenge, challenge and water. I used to say water, and I remember he told me, water. What is water? You say water. I said what? Water? What is this? Because British say water and we say water. So
Yeah.
what they think, you know, they say that yeah, our accent is correct one, and actually you need to change your accent, but we say no. So
Oh,
we have a big challenge.
yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah,
Sometimes I heard because and because.
yeah, they say because, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
British accents actually they don't pronounce r. And
Oh.
for example, dear, they don't say dear. We say dear, say dear, or something, and they open their mouth like it's a little. I think I don't know. It's a
Oh,
little.
yeah.
We say different, but ah, okay, well, so. And of course, let me say something about actually different, maybe states, cities, states, people in different parts and states and areas in the US have different accents. For example, a person who, especially black, black people have different accent that is really interesting. I really like their accents.
Yeah.
Well, now, listen to these extracts from discussion and complete them. Okay, now we have sentence completion. Let's listen again and complete this discussion. So, the next one.
Recording 1.2.
If you want to move ahead in your career, you also need to evaluate your progress regularly. If you do that, you get a better idea of what you're good at and also of the areas that you need to work on. When a challenge presents itself, you have to take it on. If you play it safe all the time, if you just settle into a routine, you'll never move ahead in your career.
If you always do what you've always done, you'll only get what you've already got.
Well,
Hmm. Yeah. It's not easy, but I heard for the first one is you get a better idea of what is good at.
what you are good at.
Yeah.
What you are good at.
Yeah.
What is good? Okay, but what is good at? No, what you are good at. Okay, number two.
Um, Number two, I uh, I I can.
Okay, so do you want me to say?
Can you repeat? I mean,
Of course, it's better. It's better to listen again. That's
yeah.
Recording 1.2.
If you want to move ahead in your career, you also need to evaluate your progress regularly. If you do that, you get a better idea of what you're good at and also of the areas that you need to work on.
So
When
is
a challenge presents itself, you have to take it on. If you play it safe all the time, if you just settle into a routine, you'll never move ahead in your career.
If you always do what you've always done, you'll only get what you've already got.
Okay.
Yeah. So the second is work on.
Very good. Work on. And number 3.
Number 3 is take it on.
Take it on. Of course, it means, do you know the meaning of take something on?
I know, but not clearly.
Of course, it means to do some work or to be responsible for something. Okay, it means take something. You know, for example, when you agree to do something or you actually you are responsible for something, you say you take it on.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes we have take somebody on. Okay.
Yeah.
For example, we are taking on, for example, 10 new staff this year. We're taking on. When you say take somebody on, it means to start to employ someone or to hire someone.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4.
Number 4 is your routine.
Yeah, very good. Into a routine. Into a routine. So, settle into.
The last one is what you already got.
Of course. Okay, so, and we have the verb, settle into. When you say settle into, it means to become actually comfortable in a new place, new situation. For example, when you have a challenging situation, you need to actually become comfortable. Something like, actually you accept it, so it's settle into something.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one, of course, what you've already
Yeah.
got, of course, what you've already got. Great, very good. And tell me now, let's talk about it because this is very important. So, of course, we heard a conversation between two people about identity career. And tell me, do you agree about, look at Nicola's comment in exercise C. Of course, we checked. Okay. And tell me, do you agree with it? And if not, why?
Nicholas, if you always do what you always done, you will only guess what you already got. I agree with it. It means we always do the thing we know. I mean, we do it again and again and again. Nothing new, no, nothing creator, nothing change. I mean, it's very boring, or maybe make we stand not moving, not progress.
Of course, very good. You want to say that when you actually, maybe when you stuck in a rut, it means you do the same thing all the time. You follow actually some old rules or traditions, actually, and you don't want to take risk. Of course, you won't find new ways to progress and success. So, of course, we need to take risk. So, well, and we need to experience something new. Well, there are some modal verbs. This is actually about modal verbs, this part that you know them. Can, could, would. Okay, so we normally use them. And actually, they're really common. Can is illegal. informal. So it's better to use could. You know, some students ask me, teacher, could is past. So why we use it in present tense? It's okay. If you use could in present, actually you are making a really polite statement. So yeah, could is more formal than can. Okay, so you can actually use can or could for, you know, making an offer, for describing ability, or making requests. So there are some differences. For example, when I say I can carry this bag, it means actually I'm describing my ability. I can, this is my ability, so I'm able. Sometimes, for example, can you give me a ride? No? Or I can, for example, help you with your homework. This is my offer. And sometimes, of course, we can make a request. Could you open the door, please? Could you? So this is my request. Can and could. And of course, we have would. That is really, really, you know, useful modal verb. And we normally use it instead of could. So you can use could or would. They're changeable, so you can use both of them in order to make a really polite statements. Okay? Well, now let's have a look at part A. Rearrange the words in 129 to make questions from a job interview. Then decide whether each question is making a request, making an offer, or asking about ability. So details, contact, you confirm, I could. So let's make some questions. So you need to put the verbs in order to make question.
No, I just reading and thinking about.
Of course.
So we have one example.
Of course.
Detail contact your confirm. I could. Oh, could I?
Yeah.
Could I have detail contact?
Could I? Okay, could I? What is verb? Confirm. Could I confirm your
Detail contact?
No, contact details. Contact details, of course. Let me say something. Adjectives never, never, ever are plural. So it means we don't use plural for adjectives. So details is plural noun. So it should be actually at the end. We can't use it as an adjective. Okay, so contact details.
So could I confirm your contact detail, right?
Definitely yes. And number 3.
Can you speak any languages?
Can you speak any other languages? Any other languages, okay?
Yeah. Could you tell us about your? Could you tell us more about your present job?
Okay. So could you tell us more about your present job? Very good. And number 6.
Number 6. Could you tell me your current salary?
Okay, so Okay, could you tell me your current salary and 7?
7. Would you let us know your decision as soon as possible?
Yeah, so very good. Would you let us know your decision as soon as possible? And 8.
When you uh, can you uh, can you start when?
Okay, when can you? Okay, when can you start? And the last one.
Uh, Sorry, can I ask more about this?
Of
Uh,
course.
uh, I usually says when
Mhm.
you can start, right? When can you start?
Well, wow.
Uh,
Okay.
because we learn about can, could, and would.
Yeah.
So um, can we change this sentence like can
Yeah.
can you start? No. Can
Okay.
you start?
When
When?
you can start. I got it. I got it. So let me explain. Yeah, of course. That was a good question. There is something, actually, we have grammatically correct. We can say, for example, this structure is grammatically correct. That we have W, for example, H, where, WH like where, when, who, okay?
Okay.
When, can, if we have modal like can, may, should, could, would, we put, and after that we have subject, when can you start, okay, and the word.
Yeah.
This is actually our normal structure, but we have some exceptions and some different structures. First, when I start my question, I start my question with another statement. For example, um, may I ask, may I ask when you can start? May I ask when you can start? So as you can see, I started my statement using another one. So after when, I have an affirmative sentence. I don't say when you can start. When can you start? I say when you can start, okay? So when I start my question using another statement, of course, after when, okay, or the second part should be affirmative, not question. Now, there is another form that is actually a bit conversational. For example, when you talk to someone, you say, when you can start. Hey, it's actually normal in conversation. We use it. And for example, sometimes we make, because actually we have intonation now, and intonation is different. Make our statement a little different. For example, I say, you want to go? I don't say, do you want to go? You want to go? So, of course, my intonation expresses my question. So I don't need, okay? So you can use it in conversation, but if you want to know the structure, of course, this one is the correct structure, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well, and the last one.
Would you like more some coffee?
No, some more coffee.
Oh,
Would you like some more coffee? So some more coffee. Okay, coffee. And now, just let's check if they're used to make an offer, to ask about ability or something. So number one, could I confirm? So is this a
uh,
big request or?
uh, is request. Request.
That's correct. Request, of course. Number
Request.
3.
Number 3. Oh, we don't do it. Can you software? Can you
you?
use this software package?
No.
Oh, so is he asking about ability?
Of course, ability. Number 4. Can you speak any other language?
Ability.
Of course. Number 5.
About the request.
Of course, request. And 6.
Is a request.
Of course. 7.
It's making an offer. No,
Uh,
making a request.
request, of course. And
Is a offer.
when can you start? Number 8. When can you start? When are you able?
I think it's ability.
Of course, ability. And number 9.
Offer.
Of course, making an offer with you. So let me say something. Could and would are normally used to make something like a request or offer, especially could for request. Okay, so could for request and would for request and offer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, my dears. Yep. Do you have any questions, any issues related to this part?
No.
Very good.
My ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop.
So,
Share.
can I ask you this week we have another, yeah. So
Wednesday.
tomorrow or tomorrow after?
I think Wednesday is good. Wednesday and Thursday. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Agree.
Okay, very good. So let me stop recording.